Hey man, you should check out the sequel to Secret of Mana. It's called Secret of Evermore. At least, that's what one of my friends told me back when this title came out. And even while I can look back now and see how someone may have believed that at the time, it's definitely not. While Secret of Evermore shamelessly uses several gameplay and user interface elements from Secret of Mana, the game is its own beast entirely. The title was unique in that it was the only Squaresoft game on the SNES that was fully created in-house in the company's studios in Washington, and it was never even released in Japan. So 6.5 months after Chrono Trigger was released, us RPG freaks were able to play Secret of Evermore for the first time in October of 1995. And let's just say, the game has become one of Squaresoft's most polarizing games ever. And in this video, I'll explain why and give you a full overview of the game. But before I do so, please like this video and subscribe to my channel for more retro gaming and classic RPG content. Several things about Secret of Evermore are totally unique, but one of the most recognizable is the story. This one has you playing as an unnamed boy from Podunk, a normal town in the US. As he leaves a movie theater, his dog begins chasing a cat down the street and into a mysterious mansion. Inside, the two find a secret laboratory with a mechanical device. The hero's dog chews on the wires, which charges them both with electricity and sends them to Evermore. There, a shadowy figure named Carltron hurries the hero past a professor doing experiments and through a gate. After fighting off some enemies with a bazooka, the hero falls down a hole and into an escape hatch with his dog, and the two are launched on a ship, and they crash land into a prehistoric region. From there, the two set out to find their way back home and venture through various unique regions to do so. It's certainly a wacky premise that stands out from almost everything on the system, and it incorporates a heck of a lot of corniness. For instance, all throughout the game, the hero compares key storyline moments to various movies, and it's really cheesy. There is a lot of humorous dialogue and a few interesting non-player characters thrown in, but honestly there isn't much character development to speak of at all. You do eventually uncover more information about the mysterious figure and professor you ran into at the beginning, and learn about the origins of Evermore though. Combat plays out almost exactly like Secret of Mana. It uses an action-oriented combat system where you have a charge meter at the bottom of the screen, and if you strike enemies before it's charged up, you'll do suboptimal damage. Just like that game too, there are a variety of weapons to gather as well, and you can level the weapons up as well as your dog skill. Each weapon and dog skill requires 256 experience points to advance to the next level, and the max level is 3. So once you obtain level 2 or 3, you can also charge your weapon up to do more powerful hits when a charged hit is used. Casting spells themselves is a lot like Secret of Mana as well, but the spell mechanics are actually a lot different. Secret of Evermore uses alchemy, where each spell requires a special formula obtained from alchemists that are scattered throughout the adventure. Instead of magic points, alchemy formulas require various parts and ingredients, like wax, clay, and limestone, all of which can be found throughout the world. Your dog actually even helps you find these ingredients through a distinct animation that has him sniffing around and wandering over to places where ingredients are. So when the dog does that and the hero searches the area, you'll find them. Alchemy formulas also increase in level upon repeated use. And I just have to say, I think alchemy is Secret of Evermore's biggest bright spot. This was a fun system that combined item gathering with advancement to create an innovative magic system. I found that the discovery process of finding the most useful formulas and leveling them up to beat the game's challenges was really enjoyable. And speaking of the game's challenges, I thought the bosses were pretty well designed and some of them have pretty impressive graphics and animations. Probably the best is this one, which is called Thrax, which is just really freaking cool, and it was used in the game's cover and for its marketing. But there's more where that came from too, and all of them were big encounters that pose a significant challenge and stand out even more than bosses in turn-based RPGs do. The game's music incorporates a few tunes with interesting melodies, but overall, it adopts much more of an ambient approach compared to Squaresoft's other games. This certainly makes it a bit unique, and some people have expressed that they love it for this reason. It was also composed by Jeremy Soule, who went on to produce all sorts of wildly popular video game soundtracks like Dungeon Siege, Baldur's Gate, and Elder Scrolls. It'll definitely be a change of pace to you if you're used to stuff by Nobuo Uematsu and Yasunori Mitsuda. Secret of Evermore definitely has its fair share of annoyances though, and I think there are two in particular. Number one is that there's a mandatory marketplace area in Nobilia where you have 15 minutes to exchange a series of different items to gain special equipment, but the game doesn't make clear what your goal is and you can't just skip this segment. So you just end up having to sit there and wander around if you don't know what's going on. Secondly, the hit detection in this game just flat out sucks. Sometimes you'll be striking right at enemies and no hit goes off, and that's so frustrating. Sometimes it almost seems random when it comes to whether a hit will land or not, and that's a pretty big issue. Secret of Evermore definitely got its fair share of marketing when it came out. Just check out this commercial.
Secret of Evermore from Squaresoft.
All things considered, I can see why Secret of Evermore is so polarizing. On the one hand, it incorporates some really solid gameplay mechanics, especially the weapon advancement and alchemy systems, with a pretty unique story and solid music. And it's also easy to play because a lot of people who've played Secret of Mana will be familiar with its ring interface system. But on the other hand, the hero has almost no character development, the hit detection is rough, and the crazy marketplace saga was just stupid. It's still a solid game, and I liked it a lot more than I hated it, but I just can't say it compares to the best RPGs the SNES had to offer. But what do you think about Secret of Evermore? Was it a failed experiment or an underrated classic in your eyes? Let me know in a comment below. Please like, subscribe, and click the bell for more retro gaming content. I'd also like to give a shout out to my Patreon patrons and YouTube members. If you want early access to the videos I produce and other perks like they receive, please consider supporting the channel by becoming a Patreon patron or via the YouTube Join feature.